Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Frying Pan Podcast. Number one pop culture podcast in the United States of America. Don't look it up, just take my word for it. Please, believe me. How's everybody doing? I hope you're all having a great day. You can listen on Thursday, cool. Any other day of the week, cool. As long as you're listening, that's cool. It's me, your host, Dan. You want to know a little bit about me? 6'5", 300 pounds, very, very good looking. Jump shot, very clean. No, no, wait, that's the wrong guy. No, sorry, I'm Dan. I'm like five. I think I'm like 5'10", 6 feet, kind of. I do podcasts. 2 years. Just want to point that out. If anyone is interested, I forgot I do podcasts. It's me. 2 years. It's crazy, right? Who'd have thought? Currently I'm standing. I have so much energy. It's not even fair. I'm listening to good music. I don't know. I was singing in the beginning. I don't know if I'll leave that in. Probably not. Um, but we're having a good day. It's Tuesday. Do the episode on Tuesday. It's just me again. Don't know if Bobby will ever come back. I don't know what's up with him. I do, but it's a little behind the scenes kind of thing. You don't need to know about his life. But here, I'll sit down. I'm sitting down. All right, that's my chair bumping and everything. Jesus. But hope you're doing well. Welcome to the show, obviously. Fuck, man. I feel like I said that 3 times already. Let's see. Anything new and exciting in my life? I'm missing one piece to finally build a new computer. And I'm super excited so that I can actually, use my computer instead of it just blue screening. You could probably ask Bobby, but the amount of times that we've tried to record the podcast and we're at 15, 20 minutes in and I'll blue screen, we don't lose the audio, but it's really just a mood killer. That happens quite a bit, but that probably won't happen anymore. And I'll finally be able to edit, which is great because I love editing. Editing's fun. I love making little stupid videos. That's my shit. That's my shit, my guys. But regardless, so very excited about that. I'll be able to play games I like. That'll be fun. It's funny because I've been sitting on if anybody understands Counter-Strike and how the economy works for that game, I unboxed a knife, which was a lot of money, and I was able to sell it and buy Sony Vegas, but my computer was on the downward slope, so I couldn't run Sony Vegas. So I spent $200 on Sony Vegas because I got it for free. I spent $5 on it because that's how much the case was. But regardless, so I'll finally be able to use that, which is great. But shit, man, I don't know. Just exciting stuff, I guess. Christmas is right around the corner. I hope everyone's getting their shopping in early. And for people that are working Amazon drivers, UPS, Postal Service, God bless you and best of luck because Lord knows that's a lot of effort and a lot of, a lot of packaging and making sure everything gets to the right place. So God bless you for doing your job. Appreciate you. We got some topics today. We got some. I'm thinking what I'm going to do if it's just me is, we'll start off a little introduction in case anybody new is listening and you get the gist of it, but I don't want to do too long because normally me and Bobby will do 10 minutes, and I know some people who are just in it for the bulk of the pop culture will be interested in that, and they're like, hey guys, can you stop talking about whatever bullshit you're talking about? And at the end of the day, it's our podcast, so they kind of do whatever we want, but at the same time, there's a reason why it keeps going. It's because people listen. But yeah, so we can hop in the first topic. First topic kind of starts on a bit of a sour note for me personally, but Nintendo as an organization is kind of scummy when it comes to I guess people trying to air quotes profit off of their stuff, which I mean, when you just word it like that, totally makes sense. If you, I don't know, invent something or you own a property and someone is just blatantly using it for their advantage and you're not getting any credit for it or any benefit from it, totally understandable. But so the latest thing they did Well, the first big one that really turned everyone off lately was there was a Smash Melee tournament that happens like every year. It's called the Big House Tournament. It happens every year, and they got a cease and desist from Nintendo to like, hey, stop doing it. And the reasoning for it was just like it didn't really make much sense. It was just I don't know. It was very it just literally didn't make any sense. Like it was just because they've been doing it for years, and then out of the blue, they're just like, "Hey, no, can't do this anymore." And I mean, even before this, years ago, back like you couldn't upload Nintendo videos to YouTube, or they would immediately get copywritten because Nintendo's like, "Hey, you can't profit off this," even though technically, like Mario Kart's like a public thing. It's not. I don't know the logistics of it, so I guess I can't really give a good I guess analysis on it. But the main one that pissed me off recently was there were people selling Joy-Cons, which is like the little controllers for the Switch, and they were made after a popular YouTuber who killed himself named Etika, and a lot of the proceeds, I think all of the proceeds of the campaign for the Joy-Cons was going to suicide prevention, and Nintendo shut that down. I guess because they were assuming that they were profiting off it, and Nintendo was like, "Hey, no way!" But I guess all of the money was going towards a suicide prevention, I guess fundraiser campaign, and I guess they raised over 10K by December last year. And the fact that they're shutting it down is just, it's so scummy, man. It makes me so annoyed. And like they do this shit over and over, but it's like I don't know. I guess it's the same as like with any big business where it's like they kind of got to put people down to keep going up, and that's just the way business works when you're at the very high up. Like take advantage or take for example like Amazon workers compared to Jeff Bezos. They're basically working in like a humane sweatshop, and Jeff Bezos is sitting on his billions of dollars that, obviously he worked to get there, but it doesn't mean that everyone is prospering with him. But this really pissed me off because, like, his whole thing, Etika's whole thing was like Joy-Con boys, and that was like not like a cult, but kind of like a cult following of like a family per se. Like everyone came together. That was his community. So people designed new Joy-Cons to like, remember him buying for people, just to like have a little piece of something to remember him by. And the design is actually really cool. But now Nintendo's like, hey guys, cut that out. We don't care about suicide. We don't really give a shit. If you're making any form of money, you gotta stop. It's so fucking annoying, man. It's so fucking annoying. And they've been on a rampage lately because I guess it's this. There was a Splatoon thing that got canceled because of it, and there's I think a couple other things who were like people were selling like different like they were wrapping Joy-Cons or like GameCube controllers, and Nintendo is just slapping out cease and desist left and right. It's just so wrong, man. I understand if it wasn't Nintendo and it was like say Nintendo like three pegs down, like they're still a pretty big company, but they're like more of like a small indie company type of thing, I guess. And it was like, hey, I don't really want you profiting that much on like my stuff because I don't make that much as it is. It's like, sure, I understand that, but Nintendo makes way too much fucking money to be this petty, I don't know, it's very impressive. It's just frustrating because like you'd love to be like, man, fuck Nintendo. But then Nintendo's putting out like Animal Crossing and like great Mario games and all that shit. And it's like, it's so iconic. And it's me personally, and a lot of kids like childhood growing up on Nintendo. So it's hard to I don't know, like me personally, like I can recognize that it's totally shitty and it pisses me off, which is why I'm like kind of ranting on it right now. But it's also the fact of like, they kind of made like my favorite games that I've ever played, and I have so many fond memories from those games that it's like I can't look past it. I guess I can't look past them being this scummy. You know what I mean? It's just frustrating. It's just frustrating. I tell you. I'm not saying boycott Nintendo, but like, holy fuck, man! Like, There's no way they can be this like out of touch, I guess, with things, you know? But I've been wrong. Been wrong before, believe it or not. But I mean, I guess that's it on Nintendo. Curious what other people think on this. Obviously, some people will be a little more biased, like I am. But if you don't really have a stance on it, I feel like it's pretty easy to just be like, "Hey, fuck Nintendo. I don't get this." Very reasonably so. And speaking of my childhood a bit, I was a big Kid Cudi fan in middle school, and Man on the Moon was the album. Literally, all my friends fucking loved that Man on the Moon album. Well, both of them actually, 2019, 2010. A lot of great bangers from that. But he has announced that Man on the Moon 3 will be coming out Friday. Friday, baby, the 11th. And it's got a lot of guest appearances, which is nice. Oh, Rolling Stone the article just killed itself. What the heck? I was trying to read the people who were featured on it, and it was just like, hey, Dan, stop. We got Pop Smoke, Skepta, Phoebe Bridgers, and Trippie Redd. And then there's a bunch of other ones, but those are like the big names. And the track list got revealed, the artwork got revealed. It's very cool. It's also very nostalgic to like the first Man on the Moon, second Man on the Moon art design. Really big fan of it. But let me see if I can see what we got for a track list here. Oh, it's set into 4 acts. Okay, that's kind of cool. It's 18 songs, by the way, so no shortage of content. But no, I guess actually that is the only there isn't that many features on this album. The people that I listed are the only features. It's kind of interesting. But yeah, very excited for this. I know a lot of people like my age can relate to being excited for this. I had a lot of friends in middle school that were huge Kid Cudi fans. And it's very funny to see how they grew from that. But I know like a lot of people who were Kid Cudi fans back in the day were like big Man on the Moon, and then when he released Speeding Bullet to Heaven, a lot of people got turned off by that. But I fucked with it, man. I liked that. Man, I thought Speeding Bullet to Heaven was really fucking good. It's it's funny because I remember having iTunes when you had to like buy the album and the songs like individually, and I remember that was one of the albums I bought. I didn't buy that many, but that was one of them. And I used to love listening to that. There's a few songs that I just can't remember that I fucking loved. But it's been a while since I've listened to that, so I can't really think of it off the top of my head. But very excited for this. Kid Cudi's been through a lot in the past like 10 years. I mean, there was that whole thing of him checking into I think it was rehab because he was very depressed. So I mean, hopefully, obviously, you'd like to see him in a better place now, and I imagine he is. But I also imagine that I could see the album telling a story through that. But I don't know. Very excited. Keep an eye out. Friday the 11th, new Kid Cudi album. And if you don't listen to Kid Cudi, understandable. I get it. I get you. Makes sense. But yeah, definitely looking forward to that. And the main, I'm assuming what I'm going to be talking about the most here is this. I thought was like an Onion article. It very well could be, but it popped off on social media. I think yesterday, and it was former Israeli space security chief says aliens exist and humanity is not ready. And it was referred to as the Galactic Federation has supposedly been in contact with Israel and the US for years, but are keeping themselves a secret to prevent hysteria until humanity is ready. Now, we're going to put the tinfoil hats on here. We're going to go full conspiracy theory. And hypothetically, I'm going to say, I believe this. I could believe this to be true. Honestly. And, it comes out like a week after when these weird like monoliths were popping up. There was one in Utah, and then I think there was someone. I think it was somewhere in Europe. I can't remember exactly, but maybe it has something to do with it. But also, it's the same thing I was saying last week with the monoliths. It's just like, you know what? Fuck it. Aliens is the only thing that makes sense to round out this year at this point. But it's very, very fucking weird article. And it's like the article keeps talking about how humanity is not ready for aliens, but we are in contact with them. Which I mean, like, in theory, I guess is more reassuring that, we have a bit of connection with aliens and that we're not just gonna get Independence Day real quick. But it's still super fucking weird. And I like to that they keep referring to it as a galactic federation. And it's very interesting. I have no idea. This is from the Jerusalem Post, so I do not know if this is an Onion article, like a fake article. It probably is, but it's still super entertaining. And it was very interesting to see people's reactions to it, because obviously it had like there's like one of three things where it was one was, yeah, it's 2020, so I mean, I guess it makes sense. Two, to like the hardcore conspiracy theorists are like, I knew it. This proves everything. All my years of research just led up to this. Or just like, um, no, I don't think so. But one thing was like, well, this explains why we made the space force as the fifth branch of the U.S. Armed Forces. And it's like, I mean, if we're in contact with them, why would we need to fight have an army against them? Aren't we boys? I don't know. I'm not part of the Galactic Federation, nor do I think I could be. I don't think I have it in me. I don't think I have the gall to take up such a pristine title, I guess. I don't know. This shit's just so interesting. I really recommend reading this article because it's written as if like a conspiracy theorist wrote this, and I'm just I'm loving it because like the person that came out and said this, he was like, I have. I have degrees, I have rewards, I have so much respect from everywhere that there's you think I'd be making this up? And it's like I think this dude's like 87. So I mean, when you get a little old, the memory gets a little foggy. I hate to, put him down, but I don't know, man. I don't know. But I guess he's the dude's was in the I guess like one branch whatever military for 30ish years, and he said they've been dealing with aliens for years. But they noted that specifically it's only Israel and the US, which makes it very odd cuz why would we choose Israel and the US and not, maybe a bigger country? Maybe we choose like a bigger European country or maybe like an Australia, like a whole ass continent. Just Israel's kind of odd, but you never know what's going on over there. Me personally, I don't. So, I mean, hey, maybe Israel has something that I don't know about. Maybe they got the alien tech on lock that I'm just not aware of. And I'm sorry that I can't, give better clarity into the situation for you guys. Maybe, maybe I'll take a trip to Israel at some point and we'll have a mobile podcast in Israel because why not? I'm young, I'm hip. Well, Corona's kind of like, putting a little halt on that for me. The whole traveling thing is not really, in the near future, sadly, but, we'll see what happens. But, I don't know, man. It's just so fucking weird, but it's very entertaining to read. So I do recommend you go listen to it. I cannot, I can't guarantee this is a real article. I imagine this is definitely a person saying it, but I cannot, give you 100% verification that I know this guy has spent years in the service and he's seen aliens. So you do with this information what you'd like. I just want you to know, hey, apparently this is a thing now. So if aliens just pop up, don't be too weirded out. Be accepting. that's that's a whole other, imagine like like we have like our very kind of racist people in this country who get very offended that immigrants are coming into the country. How would they feel about aliens coming in from space? Do you think that's tough because I wonder for the people it's like they just hate that people are different from them, or if it's like specifically because they come from certain places. So I'm wondering if there's any like alien racists. Is that a thing? It's gotta be, right? There's something for everything. If I've learned anything in my years of being on the internet, is that if you want to find a group of people that have similar interests like you, no matter how weird they are, you will find them if you search hard enough. Now, like, there is literally no limits to that statement. If you are a hairbrush enthusiast, you will find hairbrush enthusiasts with you. I mean, it gets dark. It gets really deep and dark in terms of that, but it's also just like, you got furries. It's kind of like an odd thing to people. I don't want to say normal people and, invalidate furries. No offense, but like to people that are just kind of, everyday Joes, it's kind of like a weird thing. But there's a whole huge ass community of them and they're living their life. Nothing wrong with that. So, I mean, hey, if you're ever feeling lonely out there and you feel like, hey, nobody shares the same interests as me, you just haven't looked hard enough. I'll be honest with you. It's just the reality of things. I mean, hey, yeah, the only thing with that is like then you find like the communities of shitty people that all like band together and they all have like the same shitty belief and it's like hey, this is, just like outdated or like disproven or like hey, this isn't like, a good mentality to have, but they do it anyways because they're like, oh, other people have it, so it's fine if I do. I don't know, man. I'm rambling a bit, but if aliens are out there, hey, we welcome with open arms, I guess. We're nice people. Some of us, maybe. I don't know. I'm here. I don't care if aliens come. If one alien just showed up at my front door and like dabbed me up and he's like, hey, can I crash on the couch tonight? I'd be like, I guess I really can't say no, right? Right? I don't fucking know. I'm losing my mind. I mentioned COVID, so I'll give you a little COVID update. COVID update? I guess vaccines are on the way in December for Canada. And I also read that somewhere in Europe there was an 87-year-old woman who was the first person to test the vaccine outside of testing, which is like they obviously do the pre-testing to see if it's okay for the public, and she was the first person to test that. But Canada is set to receive the first I don't know how the fuck it PFIZER Pfizer coronavirus vaccine next week. And I guess they're supposed to get up to 249,000 doses of the vaccine by the month's end. We're supposed to get some the next week. So, very interesting. Very excited to see if this shit actually works. But I mean, I guess that 249,000 is supposed to be the test run. But it's also, it's crazy to me that people are still not taking this virus seriously, man. It's crazy. It's so insane. But it's also incredible to me that like Canada's Canada reported 6,499 new cases Monday, taking the total 423,000. Now, Canada's smaller than the US, and that's, well, I guess in terms of population, I think. But when you look at the US and how much we get a day, it's impressive. And also apparently the US government turned down the offer for more vaccine doses cuz we don't fucking care about our people. Put the tinfoil hats on again. This virus was just an excuse to thin the herd so that we don't have to deal with overpopulation. You're welcome, conspiracy theorist. I am alley-ooping it for you. I don't actually believe that. Don't worry. It's not something I believe. It's just, like I said, we're putting the tin hats on. But, it's nice to see that people are taking it serious. The UK is, already testing for the vaccinations, which is nice. Canada already is. US, we don't care. We don't care. We don't even believe it's real. California's shut down again, but it's fine. I don't know. It's interesting to me that people don't consider like shutting down a whole state isn't like a big deal. Like it's just like a normal thing we do once every year, right? Newsflash, it's not. A lot of people are dying, and I prefer to be able to go someplace that's not just the grocery store once a week. Yeah. I'd like to be able to do something with my life if that's okay. If you people out there don't mind. Nothing tilts me more than seeing like people going to bars and getting drinks with their friends on like a Friday or Saturday night. It's like, just think for a minute, man. Just think for a fucking second. Like, if you ever read the stories on what people have to deal with when they get it, they're like, everything tastes like gasoline. It's like, I've been over the sickness for 2 weeks, but I can barely walk 10 minutes without having to like gasp for air. Like, this shit is fucking people up for like possible like lifetimes, like possibly their whole lives. And you're just like, fuck it. Let me get a drink with Lindsay. Who cares? It's like, first off, just drink at your house or wherever you live. Who cares? Why do you have to go out? Why do you have to be out at the bar? I mean, like, I'll give restaurants credit and like some places credit. They do an okay job at doing the best they can to stay open. And you got to make business, and it's hard being a business owner, especially during this time. If like, especially if you're a restaurant, because you kind of need people to be there. But then there's also like you just do delivery or do pickup or takeout, and everybody's wearing a mask. There's one thing that there's a fucking like a club, not like a dance club, but like, like pool, like a billiards kind of place in like the town over from me. And apparently you have to wear a mask entering, but while you're in the place, you don't wear a mask, which is like, that kind of just defeats the whole purpose of the mask in general. But it's like people just don't get it, man. People don't care. They just don't understand, and they don't want to understand. It's so crazy to me. It's just like people want an end to this, and we just don't do anything to create an end to it. I don't know. Maybe I'm the weirdo, right? Maybe I'm the freak. I don't know. Maybe I care too much. That could be it. Jeez, let's see. For all you mad rad gamers out there, Cyberpunk comes out on the 10th. Finally, after a long wait of time. And apparently people are not too happy with critics because they're, you know, kind of criticizing the game as they do. But I guess a lot of the critique was that the game is still kind of buggy and not shitty as in like a shit game, but like it's doesn't feel finished was a lot of the reports. They said like the world feels cool and the quests feel cool, but a lot of the world doesn't feel finished, and which would obviously explain a lot of the delays. But the main problem, not with the game itself, but like the hype around the game is going to kill that game. Like if that game on release isn't the greatest thing since The Witcher, which Project Red made earlier, and that's like why it's such a highly anticipated game, because The Witcher is one of the greatest games of all time in a lot of people's eyes. I haven't played it, so I can't vouch, but a lot of my friends love it to pieces. But sorry, I need to catch my breath. I was rambling for too long right there. But yeah, no, a lot of the critics are just they're fair. It's fair criticism of like it's not. I guess like the game's kind of like there's certain buggy aspects and like certain thing, but like the world itself and the quest that they've done so far, it's cool, it's great, and it deserves the hype. But the game has too much hype to where it's set up to fail. It's kind of like it's just like anything. If you like overhype anything, like say you you know, pre-COVID, you want to take your friends to like your favorite restaurant and you're like, oh, you got to order this. This is the best thing on the menu. It's the greatest thing ever. And, say they don't really like it. It's just like, it's going to be worse just because you put it on the highest pedestal possible. And if it doesn't reach that, then it's just doomed to fail. And that's kind of what Cyberpunk's at. And it's frustrating because there's probably been so much effort put in that game, like unhealthy amounts of hours put in that game of like people probably working like 20-hour days or some shit, going to bed and then waking up again just to do it. And it's like, obviously it's their job and they're doing it because they love it, but it's the fact of like that's impeding on like health problems for those people, and they're doing it just to get it by because they know there's such a high standard they hold themselves to, or like the game's being held to, and it has to meet that or else it's just all for naught. And it's tough to see. Like I'll probably wait because my computer probably can't run the game yet, but I'm very excited to see what my friends think of it because I know they're all going to play it on day one. So I mean, I don't know. It's just with shit like that, you got to be patient, especially in the COVID era where everyone is trying to do this from home, which just makes it a million times harder. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's the same with anything of like, don't get your expectations too high because you don't want to be let down. Because nothing's worse than being let down. But it's also, kind of unavoidable when you put it on this big old pedestal it's got. But, yeah, so if anybody's out there and they play it on the 10th, you can at me. Twitter, ETOS TV, ATOS TV, you know me. Gamer name, it's me, big gamer guy. But just let me know how it is, because I probably can't play it, because that's just how it is for me. But we'll see. And hmm, what else? No real topics, but maybe this is the part. Maybe I turn this into the part of the podcast where like I just kind of talk for like a little while till I get too tired of talking. And I just talk about anything, like what's going on, like what's nice in life, what's bad in life. Um, well, one thing I want to talk, well, music. We're gonna talk about music for a little bit. Um, Currently, big jazz kick for me. I'm still listening to that jazz in the background on Spotify. If you got Spotify, let me know. Oh, that's another thing. Spotify wrap up was a thing, and my top five did not really make that much sense. It was interesting because I had like 52,000 minutes listed on Spotify, which I think was down a lot from last year. Because like I listen to music a lot, but I listened to a lot of podcasts when I was working at the t-shirt place just because like I could, and I hated it and I didn't want to hear anybody because I was a little, um what's the word? Introverted little shit, and interacting with people was scary, and a lot of people, well, there was actually a couple people there that were they were terrifying because they didn't like me and they want to be fired. And it's like, I'm sorry. Well, it's just like, you know, you definitely, I don't know if it's just me, but I've every place that I've worked so far in my life, I've had the one person where they're like um kind of middle age, and like they're working way too hard at the job, and they've just kind of settled for this job, and they've been there for like 20 plus years, and they don't even do it because they love it, they just do it because they have to. And if you're not doing things the way that they do it, they don't want you there. um she was that kind of person, and I'm sure she's a nice person and not like the awful human being that I thought she was while working there. But that's up for debate. I don't know, but I'm sure people have had that person they've worked with before, and they're terrifying and they're not fun to be around. So you try to drown them out as much as possible. But I've had that in like every place I worked. I hope it's not just me, because it's been like all my work experience of just like working with people that I have like four or five people there that are like, ah, they're cool, they're nice, just like work friends, and then you just get the people that just like, it's as if they're just there to be annoying, or like just there to create problems, just to like keep you on your toes. And I don't know if people hire people to do that, but it sure as hell feels like it sometimes. But backtracking, like my Spotify wrap up thing was like, I listened to one song like 100 times apparently over the course of like 5 days, which I don't even know how I did that. I did really like the song when it came out, but that was like my number one song, and it totally just neglected like all the music I listened to from like April to now, I guess. It was very odd. And I know for a lot of my friends it was the same, so I don't know. But I always Spotify Wrap Up was one of those things where I kind of look forward to at the end of the year, just to be like, oh, nice. It's just a cute little thing. So shout out Spotify for that. But let me see. I gotta change this song. It's too sad. I don't want that. Hold on. We gotta find a banger. Yeah, we'll settle with this. Let me think, man. I don't know. Lately, I feel life's been very weird, and it's I don't know. It's funny because I use this podcast as like a pseudo form of therapy, just because I haven't had access to talk to a therapist in a little while. So, I mean, I feel like I'm in the same boat a lot of people where the mental health isn't that good, and December's rolling around, and that seasonal depression is coming in real quick. So it's very, I don't know, life just feels very still at the moment. It feels hard to like get out of where I guess I am personally, but I'm saying we because I know I'm not alone in feeling in the way I do, of just like feeling, I feel so stuck. I feel as if like I can't see, like I can't see a future where I'm like doing what I want to do at the moment. And I don't know if it's just because of COVID, or if it's just, the depression talking, but I find it very hard to see a world where like I'm doing things that I actually want to do. Like right now, I big unemployed. I don't be working anymore, and it's shitty. I don't like it. I get very bored during the day, so I've just been applying to like anything. I I can't say anything because I don't know if I'm being a stickler of not wanting to apply to like grocery store jobs or like people or jobs where like I gotta interact with the public because like I don't want to get COVID, man. If I get that shit, I die, and my parents would not be too happy. I don't want my parents to be sad, but I don't know, man. The one thing I've been consistent with, I'm happy about, is I've been dieting pretty well, except for on Saturdays. Saturdays I do not eat healthy. I That is my cheat day, and I enjoy that. But I've been doing a good job at, keeping my physical health intact and been working out 6 days. So that's the only thing like keeping me going at the moment. That's like driving to my parents' house to work out in the basement has really been the only thing that's like getting me out of bed because I feel so obligated to it to where like if I don't work out, I just feel kind of depressed for the whole day and then I don't want to do anything. So I mean, I guess it's just about finding the things to distract you. But I don't know. I'm having a hard time with like seeing the future right now. It's just very foggy. But I feel I'm not alone in this. I feel a lot of people can agree with me because I've had a lot of conversations with my friends and they're like, yeah, I do feel very similar. So it's nice to know I'm not alone. And a lot of people feel that way. I know personally, I need to see a therapist, man. I've I've been good for a while. I did for a while, and I highly always recommend therapy because it is so beneficial. I understand the perspective of like, I don't think I'm in a spot right now where I can like retain the information or like I can make good use of the information. But it's also something of like, while you're there, the advice you get really helps you like open your eyes to like how to conquer certain battles you have with yourself. It's very beneficial. I couldn't recommend it enough. If you're ever thinking about it, please just do it. It's even like if you have that mindset, just give it a try. Just, make sure it matches with your insurance. So it's it's a little pricey for that, but if you're paying through insurance, it's not that bad. But regardless, I need to look into getting to a therapy or a therapist again just because I don't know. I need answers more than anything in life right now. Like I feel like I'm just skating by, I'm waiting for the next day, but then nothing comes the next day. So it's like I'm just waiting for days to pass, really. And it's like, that's not a way to live. Like, I get my enjoyment from like seeing my friends. I will say I'm so fucking thankful for that I have like such a good family and a good group of friends to like, I don't know, keep me entertained through the days and really help me. So shout out to them. Love you all. Um, it's I don't know. It's also hard of like I don't feel like I'm beneficial to myself or anyone, so I feel like I'm just constantly like dragging like conversations with people I love down and just not doing up to my standards. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying my best to just skate on by, live my life, and it's hard these days. It's not easy. It's it's definitely a struggle. But we're all in it together at this point, and I think it's what matters at the end of the day is knowing you're not really alone at the end of the day when it comes to these things. And it's nice to have these conversations with people around you. Just I don't know. I for me personally is like knowing you're not alone in something really does help. Kind of stems back to earlier when I was saying like you can always find like a group of people or a community of people that share the same like I guess interests as you and goals as you. And making friends that way is very nice because you can always help push each other to those certain things. But it's hard when you just don't know what that is for you at the moment. You know what I mean? Like like I said, I really appreciate my friends and my family, but a lot of times when I'm talking with my friends, I don't feel like we're getting anywhere, if that makes sense. Like in terms of like wanting to achieve anything or like wanting to do anything, we're just kind of all skating by and getting through with what's got us through the past while. I don't know, man. Life's kind of weird. Um, Maybe my form of thing. Maybe I just need a new tattoo. Maybe that's what all this stems to. Maybe I just need a new tattoo. Don't. That's not. That's a joke. Don't worry. That's a joke. Though I do really want a new tattoo. That's I follow too many good tattoo artists on Instagram, and then I always see the work, and I'm like, God, I want them to just fucking go to town on my arm or whatever. There's a few very specific ones. One's like in my state, and then the rest are in like Germany or like Denmark or something, just nowhere near me. So I mean, maybe that's a goal I could set for myself, is to hopefully have the funds to like take a trip and get a tattoo from one of them. It's small, but I guess it's not small. That's kind of a big goal. But it's like that's the main thing, is like you set your big goals, but yeah, I have a hard time with this, of like taking consideration the smaller goals you should set for yourself to get to where you can achieve the big goal. Because I always just see it in the big picture, and I'm like, I'm gonna be there. If I manifest it enough, I'll get there, no doubt about it. But then like I never actually think of like, no way, how the fuck am I gonna, get even close to this? I don't know. That's always the issue with it, I guess. But in time, it'll sort itself out. It's all about just like, checking little checks off your checklist. Oh, I'm fucking rambling. Um, I don't know. I think I will, if it is just gonna be me for a while, I think I might turn like after topics time into just, chatting, seeing if people are relate, and just, just nice chatting, nice talking points, I know people can agree on it, and then people can share differing opinions, but a lot of it is just like, I want to hear from people and see how they're doing and all that jazz. But I don't know. I think we're in it for like, 10, 20 minutes. It's probably around the time to stop. That's the thing, is I never know how long the episodes are going to be when I do it by myself, because I'm always recording for like maybe like an hour and a half. It's honestly longer than when me and Bobby do it, just because like we're kind of set in stone on like what we want. But when it's me, I second guess everything I put in a lot, and I'm like, shit, man, what do I actually want here? So then I just kind of mix and match and like try and turn it into a podcast. Cause that's what you do when you do this shit. But regardless, probably the end here. Uh, if you're listening to us, you probably have found us on one of the many audio platforms we're on. That being like, Spotify, Apple Music, Stitcher. I always just mention those three because I assume those are like the big three, and then we're pretty much everywhere else. It's not that hard to find us, believe it or not. But if you want, you can follow me on Twitter, um, Instagram if you want, at DCVRZ. That's Instagram. I should probably make both of them the same, but it's not a big deal, But thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. If you want to email me or message me in private, you can hit our email, inthepanpod@gmail.com. Send us over any, constructive criticism, business inquiries, anything of that nature. If you'd be so kind, if you want to leave us, a review, maybe a little 5-star rating on wherever you listen to the podcast, that'd be very nice too. I would appreciate that one. And yeah, I guess at the end of the day, that is the episode. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for your time. I hope the winter's not too cold for you. And I hope to see you back here next week. Thank you again. Take care.